All right, this is a test. Let's see if this recording works. Okay, this is from November 21st in the public non-vaxxer telegram.
See, this is a huge part that I completely disagree with Sabrina on. She keeps saying the signal's coming from within the body. That's false. The signal is being redirected from the body. The body is being used as a repeater. The signal is coming from an outside source, going through the body, and then being repeated out of the body. So it's totally false that she keeps saying that, and it's been pissing me off for a while. I just wasn't trying to say anything. But I've been looking and looking, and everything I see is the THZ is absolutely fucking important, which is the 5G towers that she continuously says isn't going to change anything carrying down, which is incorrect. It's false information. So I'm thinking about it a lot lately, looking into it, and what she's saying when she says that way does not fucking make sense. It's misinformation as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. All right. So, unfortunately, your fearless leader over there is confused. So, I'm going to endeavor to educate everyone like normal. Biosignals are defined as space-time or space-time records of biological events, such as the electrical, chemical, and mechanical activities associated with processes. Sorry about this. Okay. Processes like a beating heart or contracting muscle. Terahertz network is not sending your heartbeat into your body and pulling it back out of your body. These signals contain valuable information that can aid in understanding physiological mechanisms and may be utilized for medical diagnoses. Please note 2005. Okay. Now, is the terahertz spectrum the only network for biosignal acquisition? No. That's your millimeter wave, your terahertz. There are many more networks. Hang on. It's not the only network or method for biosignal acquisition. It is an emerging and promising technology, molecular vibration of biological tissues. So traditional biosignal acquisition relies on various other techniques and communication networks. Let's blow that up for the little baby boys that are having problems. Now, I find it disgusting and confusing. Why do I find it disgusting? Because the very definition of biosignal is a measurable record of a biological event. That means we're not measuring from a model, we're measuring from a body. Additionally, I have shown this on the channel, read this definition, that biological signals as a measurable record of a biological event. Biosignals come from biological entities, bodies, animals, etc. Then the other reason that either he's bullshitting all of you or he's trying to make drama, I don't know what's going on here. This was very bizarre to me. 19 years of these conferences internationally on systems and signals, the International Conference on Biologically Inspired Systems and Signal Processing. Okay. So now you take a look at what you've got here. Medical image acquisition. So you mean to tell me when you go in to get an MRI, they're measuring something else, putting the MRI in your body, and then retrieving the MRI data from your body? They're measuring magnetic resonance imaging inside of your body. Electroencephalogram, EEG. They're measuring the electricity in your brain. They're not shoving a signal in your brain, measuring that same signal and extracting that same signal. They are not doing that with electromyography either. So as you can see here, electromagnetic fields in biology and medicine. monitoring and telemetry, frequency analysis and waveform, etc. All these professional conferences, electrical, biosignals, mechanical, chemical, they all come from the body. Not to mention, in order to do the protein folding and the omics, you have to be able to take real-time monitoring, like remote patient monitoring, real-time signal acquisition. So, biosignals are acquired by sensors capturing the raw signal from the body. Then, signals are amplified, filtered, digitized, and analyzed using computers and algorithms. Data reveals insights into physiological states. A biosignal is any signal inside a living organism that can be continually measured and monitored. If they were not measuring your biosignals, where did my other one go here? If they were not measuring your biosignals, they wouldn't have any models to work on. So, how are biosignals extracted from the body? Biological signals are extracted from the body by converting physiological activities, electrical, mechanical, chemical, into measurable electrical signals using specialized sensors, which are then amplified, filtered, and processed. And this process can be broadly categorized into non-invasive and invasive. The method used depends on the specific signal being measured and clinical requirements. Thus, our medical body area network in the National Archives, HARMONOS, with spectrum allocation. So these methods, non-invasive, are the most common and involve placing sensors on the skin or near the body without breaking the skin. So you have your wearable sensors that we're all used to. Electrodes placed on the chest, electrodes on the scalp, surface electrodes for muscles, and sensors that measure changes in your skin's electrical conductance due to your sweat gland activity. Optical sensors use light to measure physiological changes, using light absorption to measure blood oxygen levels, pressure sensors that measure mechanical signals by detecting force or air pressure changes, like blood pressure cuffs and smart textiles for measuring respiratory rate. That's your haptic gear, okay, HDIAC. Invasive methods. These involve invasive methods, inserting sensors such as needle electrodes into muscles for more specific electromyogram readings, and are used when precise internal measurements are necessary. And then the signal processing steps for how biosignals are extracted from the body. Once the raw signal is acquired by the sensor, it undergoes several processing steps to ensure it is clean and useful for analysis. Signal acquisition. The biosignal is initially converted into an analog electrical signal by a transducer, then converted into a digital signal for computer processing. Pre-processing with signal-to-noise issues, filtering, artifact removal in the algorithms, and then the feature extraction that we've always talked about with what features they want to look at. The cleaned up signal is then analyzed to identify relevant patterns and metrics, such as heart rate variability from an electrocardiogram or specific brain rhythms from an electroencephalogram. Number 4, interpretation and analysis. Finally, the extracted information is interpreted, often using AI and machine learning, to provide clinical insights, monitor health, or control device-like prostheses. So what I did is I opened up this biosignals Plux. This is a blog, but it's from October 2023, and it's talking about biosignals processing 101, feature extraction. And they're all excited about the treasure trove of information. Imagine you're looking for a biosignal like an ECG recording, what types of features you need to know, how to identify R peaks in electrocardiogram and compute the heart rate series, Temporal features focus on the timing aspects of biosignals. They help us understand how events unfold over time. So you got your pulse rate variability and your heart rate interval. And then statistical features, standard deviation of normal to normal intervals, root mean square of successive differences of normal to normal intervals, standard deviation of successive differences among many others. And then your heart rate variability parameters, and they've got different ways that you can look at that, like pulse thermography, and I'll come to that in a minute. Spectral features delve into the frequency constituents of a signal. So now you can only take different types of the frequency. There's your fast Fourier, and in heart rate variability specifically, a variation on the Fourier known as the Welch method. Morphological features, examining shape and structure of the skull, the veins, the arteries, any type of signal acquisition when it comes to biological signals has multiple networks, multiple ways in order to secure the biological data, deliver with quality of service the biological data. So the pronounced waveform in the electrocardiogram allows us to effectively leverage morphological features to analyze detailed structure, coming up with real-world examples for this particular Plux software. And then 2018 in the IEEE Journal of Translational Engineering in Health and Medicine, an open source feature extraction tool for the analysis of peripheral physiological data, electrocardiogram, electrodermal activity, skin, electromyogram, muscle, continuous blood pressure, and impedance cardiography, heart, are among the most commonly used peripheral physiological signals, biosignals, in psychological studies and healthcare applications, including health tracking, sleep quality assessment, disease early detection diagnoses, understanding human emotional and affective phenomena. This paper presents the development of a biosignal-specific processing toolbox for pre-processing and feature extraction of these physiological signals according to the state-of-the-art studies reported in the scientific literature. So the other way that I know for a fact with the medical implant communication system, as well as the ITU in 2004, biomedical telemetry, vital signs down telephone lines. The no-go zone right on top of the body for black boxing, for cybersecurity, a zone they call the narrow band physical and the industrial, scientific, and medical. And that's right here in the no-go zone on the body. That's to keep it as cyber secure in the feature extraction, the raw signal processing as possible. But biological signals don't come from outside the body. Biological signals come from inside the biology, period. But let's keep going. I pulled Science Direct, so you people that are still confused about your heart and muscles in your body. And specifically, he mentioned the terahertz, millimeter wave. Is that the only spectrum, the only network for biosignal acquisition? No, the terahertz spectrum is not the only network or method for biosignal acquisition. Common biosignal acquisition methods, optical, imaging and other modalities, positron emission tomography, MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, and functional near-infrared spectroscopy. Let's talk some ERDA in 1993. The data from these sensors can be transmitted and networked using a variety of wireless communication technologies, not just terahertz. And the reason I know this again is in cybersecurity, because of where these networks route for things like the Defense Information Systems networks. You don't want biological signals wide open. Even the raw data with the helium and the basic biosignal acquisition has to be handled in a certain way in order for them to protect individual body area networks, businesses, clearances, and HIPAA, like we know about from Wiley in 2011. Networking for biosignals. Welcome to my world, not yours. The data from these sensors can be transmitted and networked using a variety of wireless communication technologies, not just terahertz, like your Bluetooth, like your Wi-Fi, like the generic radio frequency, body-centric networks. The terahertz spectrum is of interest, biosignal acquisition, molecular sensing, but it is one of many existing tools for biosignal acquisition and networking, because there's never just one network. That would not adhere to security standards for basic cyber security. Recent advances in metasurfaces, that's a 2025 NIH article. However, does the optical spectrum only use the terahertz networks? No. So your optical biosensors using visible light, infrared, ultraviolet, the terahertz covers a gap. But the terahertz repeaters, they are not the only thing out there. And if you cut them down, the network auto heals and moves to another network. Now this is where I just realized I lost all my Brave tabs. Let's see. Oh, man. We have a video. Oh, thank goodness. So here, I'm going to play this again, okay? I want you to watch how these mesh networks that work with everything, towers, repeaters, any network, visible light communication, your Wi-Fi, a metasurface on a building, another body, a plant, an animal. The sensors are ubiquitous.
Most networks today are star networks like Wi-Fi and cellular. In a star network, every device must be able to speak directly to a base station, and therefore black spots are common. Star networks are inflexible and cannot adapt to local outages or urban development. To get close to full coverage, you would need many more towers. Mesh networks are different. They're designed to be flexible and enable highly reliable connectivity, even in the most challenging environments. In a mesh network, every device connects and collaborates with its neighbors. Unlike star networks, a mesh actually becomes stronger and more resilient as more devices are added.
Ubiquitous. Not, I only have 1 terahertz network. I tore down this tower. I took down this tower. That's not how it routes. And right now, that's your interbody communication, digital ID, biometrics that I've been showing as well. Non-Vaxxer 420 does not understand computer networking or cybersecurity the way I do. Never has, and he never pretended to until recently. To tell humans that the biosignal is not coming out of the biological body, and he's oh so suspicious, is very dangerous. Why? You're looking at it. The body area networks have been tethered for a long time. They're currently tethered for our Golden Dome, Healthcare 4.0, missile defense, your as-a-service cryptocurrency, and a whole bunch of other as-a-services for various things like drop that location, neurodata back and forth with a Neurosity crown. And he's out there delusionally daydreaming about tearing down towers and getting a lawyer. So because those of you in that community have chosen to lie like this, get confused like this, misrepresent like this, I hope this helps even you get your head out of your ass. The biofield with biophotonics and biophysics and cellular morphology is electrical, chemical, and mechanical. They're using it all. Just like in these mesh networks, they are bouncing every type of network, including the networks covered by national security that nobody has access to except the people with the clearances.
When a new device is added, it automatically checks its neighbors to find multiple reliable connections for redundancy. In the event of an outage, endpoints will automatically find an alternative path.
In case of an outage, the network will automatically find a new route. That's right.
Or if the landscape changes, the mesh automatically responds.
If the landscape changes, the mesh automatically responds.
In a mesh network, devices and sensors can speak directly to each other, improving network speed and efficiency while enabling even greater intelligence.
We're going to tear down towers. Oh, we're going to get a lawyer. Oh, we're going to shoot at the drone. Look at all the different things surrounding you. Oh, but I'm out. I'm off grid. That's the Golden Dome. It can do the same thing. Your eyeballs cannot see the electromagnetic spectrum, which includes the Wi-Fi, the free space optical, the visible light communication, the infrared, the spectroscopy, the spectrum allocation for the CubeSat. You are talking out of your ass, and you're doing it because you've been stalling me, shit talking me about the biofield because you don't understand the biology. You think it's woo. And your biases are making you now look like a fucking fool. All of you that support this. And it's weird because the other fool who is hosted by 7Cs, who is good friends with Brandy, the brain computer interface chick, he claims the body's not even electrical. Not only is it electrical, but body area networks are not using some magical model that you can go turn off with a fucking tower. They're using our own cells, our own cellular signaling. The biological signal comes from the body, just like the MRI in the hospital, the electrocardiogram in the hospital. Even the doctors would probably admit that. Electrophysiology since the 1700s. But your precious leader over there can't admit that the body is electrical either, just like his good buddy. Biosignals, biological signals like heart rate and blood pressure and galvanic skin response with sweating are coming from these plasmonic side of the building metamaterials. And they can't reach any other network except the 1 terahertz millimeter wave or repeater network, because there's only one network.
However, not all mesh networks are created equal, and there are a range of other factors to consider. Modern advanced IP meshing verifies communications at every link in milliseconds, providing robust security and authentication to control access. For example, if a rogue device attempts to join the network, it should be identified and blocked. They must also be durable, so your assets remain connected for many years to come. They should use open standards to avoid being locked into one vendor.
So multiple vendors, durable and upgradable. And if something rogue happens or something gets cut down, it's instantly replaced. Yeah. Now, so we've looked at our terahertz gap many, many times. And then your biosignal comes from a living organism like they've known for many, many years. Now, the other thing that you can do, let's see here. Ready to go. When you look at how are biosignals extracted from the body, in 2020, sources of biomedical signals from biomedical engineering, Danish Academy, an introduction to biosignals, electromyogram focused. So you can go to the YouTube, for example. You copy that, and we'll go back down here by our mesh networking video, and we'll go to the YouTube. And for someone like him who thinks he knows so much, he could correct himself so easily. It's really simple. What they are, this is a 3-minute video from 11 years ago, okay? So let's just try that one.
Hello viewers and welcome. This is your host Mohammed Arifin, and in this video I'm going to talk about biosignals. A lot of people have asked me the same set of questions over the past couple of months, like what are biosignals, or why and how do you use it, and what kind of biosignals have you used for your project. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So first of all, what are biosignals? Biosignals are physiological signals emitted by biological beings, which can be measured through electrical probes. In easier words, biosignals are teeny tiny electrical signals emitted by our body when we flex our muscles, move our eyes, or even when we think or sleep. So we, as human beings, produce thousands of biosignals every second. You can use special kind of amplifiers called instrumentation amplifiers to amplify the signals and use it for human-computer interaction.
Human-computer interaction. That's 48 seconds. So now I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to start this clip over. It's a 56-second clip, public telegram, November 21st, 2025. Okay.
See, this is a huge part that I completely disagree with Sabrina on. She keeps saying that the signal's coming from within the body. That's false. The signal is being redirected from the body. The body is being used as a repeater. The signal is coming from an outside source, going through the body, and then being repeated out of the body. So it's totally false that she keeps saying that, and it's been pissing me off for a while. I just wasn't trying to say anything. But I've been looking and looking, and everything I see is the THZ is absolutely fucking important, which is the 5G towers that she continuously says isn't going to change anything carrying down, which is incorrect. It's false information. So I'm thinking about it a lot lately, looking into it, and what she's saying when she says that way does not fucking make sense. It's misinformation as far as I'm concerned.
This is your host, Mohammed Arfin, and in this video, I'm going to talk about biosignals. A lot of people have asked me the same set of questions over the past couple of months, like what are biosignals, or why and how do you use it, and what kind of biosignals have you used for your project. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So first of all, what are biosignals? Biosignals are physiological signals emitted by biological beings, which can be measured through electrical probes. In easier words, biosignals are teeny tiny electrical signals emitted by our body when we flex our muscles, move our eyes, or even when we think or sleep. So we, as human beings, produce thousands of biosignals every second. You can use special kind of amplifiers called instrumentation amplifiers to amplify the signals and use it for human-computer interaction.
So in the event, that's 11 years ago, okay, that you wanted to know more about exactly how they extract the biosignals. But what if you wanted to know more about how biosignals are routed? That's feature extraction, but hang on. Let's see what we get. How are biosignals routed on the internet? Well, there's the same one from 6 years ago, cloud processing of biosignals and advanced biosignal processing. And there's the notebook reference with Plux. And let's see. Yep, there's biosignals Plux again, 4-channel or 8-channel hub. Because you got to remember, you have, as I've explained, the different things in the home, the assisted living, biosignal acquisition, non-invasive for the plethysmiogram, which is non-contact human activity recognition radar for the heart. These are all security services in various HOAs and lots of places. So let's see what we get with our cloud processing video here of 2 minutes. See what it says.
Tim is wearing sensors.
So recording from my ear, brain activity, and we're recording heart rate and we're recording movement from the chest. We're streaming this to the cloud, where we're translating this into measures of my relaxation level, my heart rate. We can get heart rate variability. We can get a variety of states that are related to the types of signals that I can get here from this.
Now he's saying that the signals are being redirected outside the body, back into the body, or however he thinks that the signals are being redirected, that it's going to do any good to tear down 5G or the terahertz repeaters when they've already moved into the 6G, and they always squawk about the military being 30 years ahead. The military is using your Internet of Space things. Biophotonics, okay? Photonic radar. that is using light, photons, and or radio frequency. And again, is the terahertz spectrum the only network for biosignal acquisition? No. And that's because in computer networking, you never only use one network. Now, same dude, there's your photoplethysmography, photoplethysmography, an optical method used in pulse oximeters to monitor blood volume changes, heart rate, and oxygen saturation. More biophysics too. So we have the infrared, we have the spectroscopy, and then of course your tomography and everything in between. But he thinks it's only the terahertz repeaters and the 5G. We have been running visible light communication since 2005 with the Zigbee, the Bluetooth, and all these different networks that we're able to use in your house, in buildings, bouncing off intelligent reflective surfaces. And every single one of these networks is different. And every single one of these networks can acquire a biological signal in a different way because they're mesh networks. They heal themselves. In the event that, in the event that you're walking down the road and this network turns off and this one turns on, 5G, 6G, 4G, front haul, back haul, CubeSat, visible light communication with another body area network, a narrowband physical, any network it wants. Why? Because biosignal acquisition is very old. Biosignal acquisition is well studied. Biosignal acquisition is a primary component of biomedical engineering for the biological circuits that they use, that we've talked about on the channel numerous times. Excuse me. And our biomedical circuits and systems here are electronics for neuroscience. What about neuromorphic circuits and systems? What about the different point of care networks that we're using with biological circuits and biophotonics? It's not just the terahertz and it's not just the millimeter wave. So I think that we had better be real careful before we continue going down the grift road here, advertising for people we claim we don't like and advertise for, but that's the only name dropping out of the mouth. Because you see all these tabs? I just took people into neuroinformatics. We didn't get a chance to watch Anton about programmable DNA circuits in biocomputing. Programmable microfluidics from Stanford 17 years ago. Diffraction lecture on two-plane group symmetry from Ohio because it explains some of our little orbifolds. This is how the optics with the signals from our whole body and via our fractal resonance and morphology are being affected with the perturbation, the sequencing, DNA, RNA, omics, understanding uncertainty in machine learning systems. This deep learning for solving economic models has a math thing in it I want to show folks. Typical and atypical intersections, geometry, dynamics, and applications from the IAS 5 days ago. Many geometric spaces carry natural collections of special submanifolds. That's your toroidal field, with nothing more than light and pressure, or sound and pressure. Acousto-optical. Simultaneous non-vanishing of L function at the central point. Same IAS, number theory. And non-vanishing results conditional on GRH for two L functions associated to Dirichlet characters. And the same Galois orbit and simultaneous non-vanishing of four L functions as they vary over characters. Now, I know that looks like a bunch of gobbledygook, which is why I'm going to show people they're just taking the math and they're twisting it into what they need it to be. And that's what the Fourier and the Hamiltonian does. Hang on. So then in order to get into brain-computer interfaces, you can understand human-machine interaction with microfluidics and the optics. I decided to go after things like, here we are with Elon Musk and those special contact lenses a year ago, because that's all anybody knows is Musk and Neuralink, and trying to show people 4 years ago, brain computer interfaces a different way. And then in Genesis AI quantum biology, so that we can continue on with the Genesis project, I was looking for not an AI made stream of different ways, short or long, to help people understand quantum biology.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, everyone.
Quantum biology at the biohackathon with AI agents that we've talked about. Excuse me. The origin of Hamiltonian mechanics, to understand Hamiltonian spaces a little bit better and how old this stuff is.
Professor Dave.
Quantum numbers, atomic orbitals and electron configurations. Orbitals, atomic energy levels and sublevels. Principal quantum numbers, N1, N2, N3, about your electron transition.
Quantum computers.
Quantum secure encryption is here 9 days ago. For those of you that can't admit Qualcomm.
Okay, everyone.
Quantum locking. Quantum computing with NVIDIA's Fireside Chat from 8 months ago. How does a laser work? Quantum and the nature of light 2 years ago.
Okay, everyone. Today.
How to make a quantum tunnel in real life. The physics of artificial intelligence from a month ago. And
is effective for learning.
Feynman, the guy with the nanotechnology, top-down, etc., and his technique about learning. It's just a quick 2-minute clip. And instead, I dropped all of that, preparing all of that. As you can see, I still have more things to sort out and find for our biophotonics. And that goes back to where we've been trying to be. Synthesizing ultra-fast optical pulses with arbitrary spatiotemporal control lasers. Spider technique based on spectral shearing interferometry with that femtosecond array involved with your spectral phase interferometry. Spatiotemporal light control with active metasurfaces. Ultra-fast control of vortex microlasers. For your terahertz radar systems and all the different little networks that they talk to. Terahertz radar, a new era in auto safety, Department of Transportation. But you're going to go tear down your 5G towers and you're going to go squeak and whine and cry to a lawyer. They're already in the 6 and the 10G. You said so yourselves. I thought you knew that. I thought you knew that our post-quantum encryption goes back to the 80s. I thought you knew that NIST is already using all this stuff with the mesh networking. Non-contact vital sign monitoring of a patient lying on a surgical bed using beamforming and frequency modulation, continuous wave radar. For your med beds. Me resonant metaphotonics. Me resonance. So that we can go back to that. I posted it on the X with a couple different explanations so that it's easier to explain. Metaphotonics and metasurfaces powered by me resonances. So here's what I've already got pulled, including our quantum communications and networks test beds and our FCC table of spectrum allocation. And this should be optimization for, I think it's, hang on, let me double check. Yeah, energy harvesting. Mouse. Alexandria Engineering Journal, Elsevier, courtesy of Science Direct. Optimizing energy harvesting in wireless body area networks, a deep reinforcement learning approach to dynamic sampling. M-zines are an exciting class of 2D nanomaterials like graphene, made from transition metal carbides, nitrides, or carbon nitrides, known for their metallic conductivity, tunable properties, electronic or optical, hydrophilic surfaces, and potential in energy storage and sensors, EMI shielding and robotics, offering advantages like water processability for advanced applications, with nanosensors and nano antennas. So while your drama baby over there is continuing to throw shade, be a bitch, cast dispersions, call me names, all I asked is that you little man babies over there in his flying monkey tribe, could you please remove your focus from me? I said I quit so that I can get back to, and as I have been, doing what I do without having to deal with your slander, your inability to read properly, your inability to understand cybersecurity properly. That is something that you should be able to take care of in-house. Chris at InfoCrypt, as far as I understand, has a pretty decent comprehension of information technology. So how did this get past him? Additionally, I just want to put this out here. I could be wrong. Ryan and Sal, I left their team to avoid drama. They're doing great. I have an X space from them I want to share. It's tremendous. It's phenomenal. Why don't you take this to them? Let them explain it to you, little man babies. Well, they know more than you do. Ryan and Sal will tell you themselves that is not true. We all work together. They know a lot about the GitHub. So do I. They know a lot about cybersecurity. So do I. So we work together. And because of all you and your drama, I went ahead and said, hey, I'll just ask your permission before I share something, because they've got great posts. I'll show you what I have on deck for the two of them, including two from our Telegram, your trust graph consensus. Okay. Oh, shit. Didn't mean to X that out, to bring that back. So that's Corinne's with Professor Jornet. Human Internet Tech. One of you came from those two. Hang on. Oh, research progress, a terahertz fiber, nanoparticles found in brains from external sources. I think that's just a generic X tab. Yeah, subcellular. Come on, Wiley. Subcellular metabolic tracking using fluorescent nanodiamonds, relaxometry, telecom wavelength quantum teleportation using frequency converted photons, light from remote quantum dots. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out where I put it. I think it was in the Telegram, but I pulled up two of their posts and the ones we have on Team Humanity to go over. Maybe that's how I did it. They're around here somewhere. And inside of those particular articles, especially the ones that they have laid out on the Telegram, I bring it up on the X with their post, and then I break it out with other papers, which I know darn well this huge set of tabs is part of, because I already did the work for it, so that I can explain it and then toss in a couple videos. So that way, when people hear Ryan and Sal that are not tech heads or whatever, they have a better chance of understanding or helping other people comprehend what Batman and Robin are talking about. So I do not appreciate being misrepresented as a bimbo and an idiot. I don't appreciate your little drama mamas over there. I really wish that you would admit the human biofield connectivity so that we could get on with the physiology involved with PhysioNet and HHS in physiological signal-based security, that body area network connection to the NIST cyber physical, with your cyber physical systems. I'd really appreciate it if we could all get back to work and not have to hear sniping and stupid commentary from people who just want to cause drama and division. And that is not me. So that is why I'm doing this as a recording. I'm going to try to upload it and see what happens, because telling people that biosignals are coming from outside the body is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Well, no, they're being routed and then they hit them. Then you don't understand mesh networking or Talos. Just getting started, metropolitan area networks, and what is it? SD-WAN, I think. And the other one. And you obviously don't understand cyber biosecurity still. After all this time, I tried to tell you, you're not getting away from your own biology. Physiological signal-based security, PhysioNet, and this came from Batman and Robin. maybe man babies. Batman and Robin can help you understand that the biological signals Health and Human Services is depending on with the NIH isn't coming from outside of you. It's your own heart rate for cybersecurity. Bingo card. Something that you've seen how many times and you still don't understand when it says, oh, come on, Wiley. Yeah, reset me to 100 if you want to. Yoo-hoo, there we go. Some researchers show the security for biosensors implanted in the human body, and those biosensors have to make use of cryptographic algorithms to encrypt the data they send to the control node the biosensor had in this paper in 2011. And the random number which is used in these security protocols, network security, routing biosignals over the internet, can be generated by biometrics such as that heart rate and interpulse interval. Welcome to the foyer. Welcome to feature extraction. Welcome to advanced signal processing, signal to noise. Welcome to the sawtooth wave and the sine waves and everything else that electrical engineers do in order to present cybersecurity with appropriate encryption. You're out of your league. So now you need to decide, because if I have to pull apart any more of this, I'm going to put your lawyer whining to some music. Get on with whatever you're doing. Leave me out of it so that the rest of us, like Ryan and Sal, we can work together, hither and yon. Whoever else is left doing whatever they're doing, maybe they can work together. And I'm going to do my own thing by myself. Get over it. I quit. And this is why. You sound like the Barely Bruised Books guy. It's disgusting. How many times have you seen this paper? But you couldn't understand it. How many times have you seen? No, which one are you? What am I thinking of? Listen, oh no. Not the passive hardware considerations. It's the blog that I'm always putting up there. Ambient signals. I'll find it and add it to the list. For some reason, it's running out of my head. Oh, what are you called? Industrial, scientific, and medical bans for the mandatory human body communication. Mandatory human body communication isn't a universal rule, but a powerful technology. Now, is it magnetic and otherwise? So I want to find the ISR bands. What is that blog called? I don't know why, but it's running out of my head. Industrial, scientific, and medical bands, ISM. This is your radio spectrum reserved internationally for industrial, scientific, and medical purposes. This also is, because it's so close to the body, part of where the narrowband physical can be played with. This is all spectrum allocation in bio and regular cybersecurity for everything they do with your implants and all of your wearables, your interbody communication with biometrics. And that's why integrated passive devices for radio frequency systems. Yeah, Qualcomm, Cambridge Silicon Radio, MediaTek, Semtech, Intel, blah, blah, blah. And this is what you're up against, which is why it doesn't make any sense to me why you would tell people that biosignals are coming from outside of them and trying to hijack them. No, they're coming out of your body. And the reason they can measure it is because physiological-based signal security is coming from you. I'm not finding that blog. I don't know why that I can't remember all of a sudden which one it is. The one we look at all the time from 2018. Okay, now at almost an hour, if any of you have any further questions about where biosignals come from and how biosignals are extracted from the body, there are YouTube videos. There are multiple diagrams. And you're going to find the exact same thing that we've all been showing you, but don't forget your high-powered computing, trillion sensors. I just used this particular ResearchGate because the listing that it has from the Journal of Hardware and Systems Security back in 2017, the ubiquitous computing under the hood of the Internet of Things, so that you can understand the operation of biosensors, chemical, electromechanical of the MEMS, optical, thermal, and magnetic. Their applications are up here with healthcare, mobile computation, environment, industrial automation, retail, and smart services. Your technology is here. Your CMOS, MEMS, NEMS, ASIC, optical spectroscopy, chemical properties, and hybrid. And of course, all of your mesh networking in all the different ways that the upgrades with the Internet of Space things, free space optical, is routing the already deployed, going into standardization 6G. And standardization means they're done with the test beds. We know. And that part, he knows. So knock it off, get educated, and onwards we go. If you keep it up, I'm going to pull the clip of you whining about lawfare and embarrass the fuck out of you. Okay? Okay. Mark 5:36. Amen.